thanks to this, you can get to me anytime, anywhere. And that makes our young girls vulnerable to sex trafficking. And it's not just the social media sites that you would think of, like Backpages or Craigslist. It's the sites that they're using every day. We talked to one survivor who says it's time to have a conversation with your daughters.
Hey, watch out, watch out!
The same mom cheering on her kids on Charlotte soccer fields, sitting beside you in church, spent most of her life living with a secret.
And so I swore I would never, ever talk about it.
Lainey George was a child sex slave.
So for me, because it did start so early, I started to keep my mouth quiet.
The first time she was exploited, she was just 3 years old.
I had no idea that it wasn't okay for it to happen to a little girl.
By the time she was 7, she was in the back of the strip club exchanging sexual favors for help with her homework.
My school bus dropped me off at my strip club. The men, for me, would buy me something to eat after school. They would start with helping me with my schoolwork, and then I would have to perform the sexual act for them.
Hers is a story that's happening in the shadows of every corner of the Carolinas.
It's happening under people's own roof.
Shauna Pagano works with No Rest, a statewide organization that's fighting the trafficking of our young people. Is human trafficking a problem here?
Absolutely.
The average age a girl is first sold? 15. And more girls than you think. There were 181 victims in North Carolina last year, but those were just the sex trafficking cases that were actually reported.
It's really, in my opinion, just the tip of the iceberg.
Left index fingers, just like that.
We saw it last week.
This young lady.
The FBI saved 3 girls here.
How did that happen?
Busted 11 pimps and johns. But if you think you know what sex trafficking looks like, Pagano says, think again.
One of the misconceptions we're really working to try and eliminate is that traffickers are driving around in a white van full of puppies.
So, Mr. King?
They're so-called boyfriends, their grandparents running sex rings like a family business. They're even on the cheerleading squad.
Some traffickers have some of their victims start recruiting other victims. So young women may start recruiting other young women within their own school system and social networks.
But Lainey George says there's hope.
The journey's hard, but it's possible.
She now runs a home for sex trafficking survivors here in North Carolina.
We've had an influence in over 200 ladies' lives.
Girls, once sold, now saved.
I will do this till I take my very last breath, until every woman knows that she's valued, accepted, and loved, and that her story doesn't end from her past.
Yeah, I remember this theater very well. It opened December 31st, 1936. It's a classic theater. It's the Gym Theater here in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Here's looking at you, kid. I have heard so much about this classic theater. The Gym Theater, yes, in Kannapolis. It's time to see the movie. I can see it as PG. This is the old-fashioned ticket booth, one to see my all-time favorite movie, The Croods. Hey, it's Steve Morris, the general manager, the owner, and the janitor, and the ticket taker, and
Exactly.
the concession guy. Yeah.
Thank you, Larry.
You know what? These classic theaters, even the bathrooms are elegant and nice. And they have great sound quality too. Hello, anybody in there? This is such a beautiful theater.
Thank you.
There's nothing like it, and it's really legendary. Tell us a little bit about the history of the Gym.
Well, the Gym Theater opened December 31st, 1936. It was one of 4 theaters that were owned and operated by Cannon Mills Company. They built the theaters for the entertainment of their employees in the mill. They would have live stage performances and then roll down a small screen and show a movie afterwards. And as things evolved, then the movie became the main event. And we like to say that we are the oldest single screen movie theater in continuous operation anywhere in the southeastern United States. I get a lot of stories from people on a daily basis. This is where my wife and I had our first date.
Our first kiss.
Our first kiss. This is where we brought our child for our first movie. You know, so a lot of memories here.
Here in the projection booth, this projector goes all the way back to 1936?
Yes, sir. It's the original lamp housing and base that was installed when the theater was built. It was used daily up until March the 1st of 2012.
And then eventually you added this apparatus here that's like
right.
a platter, and it has a film that's put on top of it, right?
Exactly.
But now you're all digital, is that
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the setup time is instant.
Exactly. It is computer operated, digital projector, touch screen here, another computer over there. All the times are scheduled in. All the automation is scheduled in. It brightens and dims the lights. It turns the footlights on and off. It opens and closes the curtains. Everything is completely automated.
Now this is the old-fashioned heavy film, and it's changed today to
This hard drive.
these Skittles, Snickers, Mr. Goodbar, Reese's, and Starburst. Oh yes. Hey, I got this candy, and I need one of the biggest drinks. The biggest drinks you got. All right. Oh yeah. Oh. And I need a giant mega popcorn. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go to the movies.
But Larry, you didn't pay.
All right, okay. Best seats in the house. There, I got my popcorn, I got my drinks, got my candy. Mr. Protectionist, it's showtime. I forgot. I got the film. Tell everybody.
All right, guys.
Early morning, orange jackets on, pickers in hand.
The community awaits.
These Rock Hill kids are doing something most would not.
We're picking up trash
Keep on moving, don't stop, no.
for the community.
I decided myself because, I want to see the world a better place for people to live in.
There you go.
Led by their pastor,
Spread out, spread out.
C.T. Kirk,
You're trying to get more than 2 pieces of trash in every scoop.
who believes with all the violence young people are living through, one way to get kids moving in the right direction is to clean up the streets.
There you go.
Literally.
Our kids need motivation. They need something to work toward. They need to see that their actions pay off in our communities.
It's already paying off for David, who once made some bad choices.
I was almost in the game. I know people maybe last year when I went to school with, some of them ain't even here, not to this day.
Now trying to throw the past away and put his goals within arm's reach.
I got a big career to go to, so I'm trying to chase the dreams.
The kids getting the tools they need
He's teaching me how to be a man and
to be the change the community needs.
You got to be the bigger person, stand up, let them know what's right. Be the example for them to follow.
Right at the corner line.
'Cause as the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And this trash, this lesson, is worth its weight in gold.
Because if you don't care, you will destroy us. So make sure we're caring.
In Rock Hill,
Just keep on moving.
Tanya Mendes, NBC Charlotte. They held signs, hands, and American flags.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
They shouted a rally cry and a call to action with a simple message.
I think all of us care about making the city safe for everybody.
Those who gathered in Marshall Park say the city of Charlotte needs to do more to protect immigrants and keep families together.
But I still see many people suffer from this, so I don't think it's fair for them. So I'm here to stand up with them.
They marched through Uptown, taking their message to the courts, the police, and even the banks.
I come here for the cause. I come to stand with black, brown, and white because there's no room for hate. And we all one, and everybody deserves to be treated fair.
USA! Monday's rally, part of immigrants' rights demonstrations across the country, brought people from all walks of life.
End white silence.
Who say everyone in the community should matter, even the ones in the shadows.
These are members of our community, and we actually can't survive without them.
Boxes not even unpacked yet.
Got to town on Friday morning. Yeah, go get a book.
Bill Regad, his wife and daughters moved to Charlotte, ready to start a new life.
Says she cooks, so we'll find out.
Getting ready takes a little longer in the Regat house. Natalie has cerebral palsy, and anywhere Natalie goes, she goes by van.
That's her way of travel.
Or at least it was until this weekend. The family went to bed Saturday night, still barely unpacked, came out to the driveway Sunday morning, and the van was gone. Natalie now stranded at home with her little sister to keep her company.
Well, the car got stolen, and me and Natalie always used to go places. And the car's stolen, now we have to stay home.
Ashley and Natalie were ready to start a new school. That's now on hold too. All of their school and medical records were in the van.
Hopefully they didn't take our school papers and shred it and throw it in the trash. Because that's important for me and Natalie to go to school and make new friends.
For Dad, the van was more than just a mode of transportation. It was once a way to make a wish come true.
We went to give kids the world. That was a sweet trip.
Now the wish of his little girls, a simpler one.
If anyone finds it, please tell my dad where it is, and we'll go from there.
In Charlotte, Tanya Mendes, NBC Charlotte.
As a beautiful baby girl, Abby Wambach had an infectious giggle. And as baby grew into that easy toddler,
touch your nose. There you go. Where's your tummy?
a vibrant, outgoing personality began to take shape.
Abby, what you doing? Hi.
Her locks of blonde hair and a smile that would melt ice all complemented a face that defined Carolina beauty.
Tell me how old you are. Two.
Everything about this little girl was normal. Dolls. A sister who's a best friend. And just plain silliness. But when Abby was 2, a problem surfaced. She began having seizures. Visits to doctors followed, and 4 to 5 seizures a year became the norm, usually the result of some sort of high adrenaline situation.
You know, jumping in a swimming pool, getting splashed in the face, snowball kind of in the face thing. We had lots and lots of tests for epilepsy and see if there's anything wrong with her brain, and there was never anything diagnosed.
Over the years, Abby's seizures seemed to be controlled by medicine. But on November 13th, 2009, Abby's condition took a different path. On a walk with her dad and sister to see some horses near a Fort Mill park, Abby was startled by a bee.
The bee didn't actually sting her, it just scared her. And when it scared her, her heart stopped. Her dad and her sister were with her and some friends, and he did CPR until the ambulance got there.
Over the next 8 days, 10-year-old Abby fought for her life in the pediatric intensive care unit. Her mom, Lori, had a dog brought in. The photo would certainly cheer Abby up when she woke up. But one terrible turn after another was simply too much. Abby couldn't and didn't wake up. On November 22, 2009, 10-year-old Abby Wambach passed away.
If you have other children, you have no choice. I mean, that's pretty much what you have to do. You have to move on, you have to move forward. Everybody, the surprising thing is, for me, that everything kept going on like normal. Life, not my family, but life kept moving forward, and it was very hard.
The Wambachs suffered a terrible, irreplaceable loss. Abby's death was determined to be the result of long QT, an undetected genetic heart condition that can cause sudden death through cardiac arrest. Now came the grief, the anger, the questions, and a sense of unbearable loss. That's where the compassionate souls at Kindermorn stepped in to help. People who understand loss, people who are ready to listen, people who have been there and are still there.
As they start to see the light and start to want to live again.
Kelly Hamilton is the program's executive director.
This is a place where they can come and they can say what they need to say, and they can be with other families, other parents who have had a child die, and they can be real. And through that opportunity, it gives them, again, the support and the courage to carry on with their life And we have an awesome responsibility, but we also have an awesome privilege to witness that.
But it's slow. Today, Abby's room is just as it was 3 years ago. Lori says she doesn't come in here all that often.
I do sometimes if it's, a really bad day, but not a lot.
Class photos, artwork from school, favorite stuffed animals, all now precious memories to be forever cherished. The hard part of telling Abby's story isn't today. It's every day.
I mean, it's not as all-consuming as it was for the first, but it's still every day. So, like, when the other kids are coming out in the spring and playing, and your daughter's not. But it's not the same as the first year. Every year is a little different. Not better, not worse, it's just different.
It is making new family traditions, making new friends, and making a new life with Abby alive only in their hearts. Reporting in Charlotte with photojournalist Reid Bennett, I'm Bill McGinty.